On Thursday, the last of the three international meetings took place at the OSCE headquarters in Vienna. The Russian representatives discussed security issues with Western diplomats of various levels. Before that, there was a meeting of the NATO-Russia Council and the bilateral US-Russia talks held in Geneva.
The
progress was that diplomacy continues, NATO allies and partners can express their concern in the OSCE. When we have such a dialogue, then we can move on.
The idea was to find some channels and initiate a dialogue to reduce the risk of a confrontation. But the parties have reached the point where they cannot give up their positions.
During those meetings, Russia requested legal guarantees of its security from the alliance and its members. The key requirement is that the alliance refrain from further advance to the east and guarantee that Ukraine would never become member of NATO. However, the US and NATO consistently declare that they cannot decide the fate of other countries without their participation and cannot forbid countries to join the alliances. In addition, they insist that Russia withdraw its troops from the Ukrainian borders.
In this vein, we should focus on a peaceful resolution of the conflict in and around Ukraine, in compliance with the Minsk agreements and in full respect of the sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders.
But Russia is categorical.
They are talking not only about withdrawal of military units from the border with Ukraine, but about troops leaving for the barracks. I don't think there is a need to explain the absolute inaccessibility of those requirements, and we won't even discuss it. Sergei Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia.
At the same time, the Kremlin is indignant about the bill which was unveiled in the US Senate. The document states in the event of Russia's invasion in Ukraine, the United States will apply serious sanctions against Moscow. In particular, they will block property and impose a ban on entry into the United States for the President of Russia, the Prime Minister, heads of the foreign and defense ministers. Besides, at least 3 Russian banks will be included in the sanctions list. Moscow replied, if there are sanctions, there will be a break in relations. Although the Russian experts call this position to be somewhat absurd.
Don't invade, and there will be no sanctions. Everything is very simple and clear. Many countries will break off relations with Moscow if it undertakes any attempt of a large-scale aggression against Ukraine.
And it will be Russia which will become a loser in case it happens.
This situation is in fact isolation. Russia will be isolated in terms of its key export products, oil and gas. Trade will be blocked and finances will be blocked. Plus, what was taken out of Russia will be taken away. It's due to this money such a slightly aggressive Russian rhetoric is fueled. The Russians know how much capital they have. But in case of aggression, Russian trillions abroad will simply be frozen and they will be deprived of their potential.
Experts suggest that after such statements and ultimatums, the stakes in further negotiations will only increase. The West will act in 2 directions. Those are economic and political sanctions, as well as military support for Ukraine. Russia, on the other hand, will continue to demonstrate its weapons, following the statement by Lavrov, who suggested that Moscow could deploy its military infrastructure in Cuba or in Venezuela. In addition, if an arms race between the West and Russia starts, Russia will lose again. Both Russian and international experts assure that at the moment the Kremlin doesn't have enough financial or technological resources to wage a new Cold War. Reported by Nick Starkov and Irina Kovalenko, UATV News.